Mr. Henri Tiphagne, sir. Sir would be highlighting on the policing practice and justice delivery system in relation to police.
I thought it was going to be a free day for me, away from court. But Shantakumari ma'am is somebody in whom I have all fear, because those 7 minutes are precious to me. Let me first of all congratulate the Central Law College, Salem, for this initiative. No academic institution today has the guts to do what you are doing. And your chairperson's address was unique. And I think I've already seen it on the YouTube even before the keynote address was delivered. So it was that was the speed. Hats off to you and your efforts. Hats off to two judges here who have delivered the inaugural and keynote address. I can get distracted and get scared of Shantakumari ma'am if I get into their address, because they do not have time limitations, I have time limitations. No. Because of what you said, because of the questions you raised, and the institutional answers those questions require. Hats off to both of you, sir. Never will I disrespect the institution that you belong to, sir. I have been working with the National Human Rights Institution since 1995, and therefore I have the greatest respect for national and state human rights institutions. And if I am angry, it is only because I cry within, I bleed within when things don't go the right way. But I'm sure we are in right hands, and we will come to those questions a little later. Coming straight to today's address, because of the time span, I'm extremely happy that the former member of the National Human Rights Commission in his address spoke about the pathetic positioning of what are known as NGOs, who are civil society organizations. I am one of those victims, sir. I have my bank account closed for 3,870 days. I have a CBI case against me which is going on for the past 3 years, and nothing has been unearthed, and nothing will ever be unearthed. What they will unearth is that this loud voice is silenced, because loud voices like this need to be silenced by those who are in power. And that is the price we have to pay, and we are willingly paying the price for this, keeping up this voice of ours. I have 5 submissions to make. The first, I wanted to start with the definition of human rights. I'm thankful to the chairperson of the State Human Rights Commission who read it out, and therefore recalled that human rights actually means a very powerful right to life, equality, liberty, and personal dignity. Very, very powerful. And it was read out. I don't want to get into it. The second point I wanted to make was that our system of policing today, has certain major issues that we have to look at. One, let us admit it is hierarchical. It is extremely hierarchical. And in that hierarchy comes that big evil that the chairperson pointed out in his address. And I don't want to repeat it. Within that hierarchy, the evil of caste system also plays. And therefore, we have a very, very complicated system of policing which is strictly hierarchical. And when I say hierarchical, don't get excited. Don't forget that Balbir Singh never went inside. And those who don't know Balbir Singh, sorry, he never went inside. But the 5 constables in Ajit Kumar's case are inside. This speaks for itself. Let me ask the IG who's here, who started her career so beautifully as a DSP, how she was treated when she was a non-IPS, and how those who are in IPS are treated. There is hierarchy in a very, very negative fashion which exists within the policing, and that has to be hit. Secondly, there is no association. I'm so happy I sit before a police person as a chairperson in this session, because here The IPS officers have associations. Ordinary policemen do not have associations, and therefore they are forced to speak the way they want wherever they are, and they are put into very difficult situations. So no associations for police, and you expect them to do policing. There are difficulties that arise for you and me as citizens. The third is the non-compliance with the Prakash Singh case directives, which all of us know. I'm not going to get into it, accepting the fact that the DGP follows it. In DGP appointment, Prakash Singh's case is followed. So every DGP has a tenure of 2 years. Sure, maybe the government has not yet woken up that by the end of this month the DGP's career is going to close, but yet we will have a DGP at whatever stage of his or her life, 2 years tenure is assured. But all the other directives of the Prakash Singh case, which says every Commissioner of Police in Salem, every SP in Salem, I'm saying Salem because I also happen to be from Salem. People, I mean, it's all, everybody is recalling their Salem days, so I thought I too will attempt and recall my Salem days. I'm from Arsipalayam, and I have my own mother's arch put up inside the prison. I was asking Mr. Kannadasan, if you go inside, see whether you find a Tiphagne block there and an arch inside the prison. So what is not followed is a tenure for all other policemen, all other officers, including station house officers. Never. You look at SPs, they're always transferred. You look at COPs, they're always transferred. Madam, IGs are also transferred. You people need a certain tenure that is never followed. The same in terms of police establishment boards, the complaints authority, everything is not followed. So you have a police system where all these things are not followed, and yet you want the police to adhere to certain procedures, which is extremely difficult. The third I want to move into is the policing practice from an ordinary citizen's point of view. There are privileged people who will have different policing, but an ordinary citizen has to face the fact that police perpetrate injustice and obstruct access to justice. This is what is happening down south today as the honor killing is going on. You have the parents not arrested because they are obstructing the access to justice for that family which lost only because of the caste in which he was born into. Second, the non-registration of complaints. I mean, we are in 2025. We are talking about all sorts of things. Non-registration of complaints is there. And I have an ADGP of the state going on in a public minute saying, please make sure that you do not demand paper when people enter a police station to make a complaint. Is this the era we are in? I mean, this is serious. This is not somebody saying it. It is an ADGP who is saying this. So no registration of complaints. This is for the ordinary man, ordinary woman, ordinary man, despite her reception center and the videos and the CCTVs, etc. The third is corrupt practices. I don't need to say anything more there. And the fourth is illegal arrest, the long illegal arrest. And for all of you who know Ajit Kumar's case was a very clear case of illegal arrest. Very, very clear. And torture, brutal torture. 47 injuries recorded in every part of the body. No fractures. Every part of the body had 47 recorded injuries, of which at least 6 of those injuries were multiple in nature. This is an example of what continues every day in every police station, quietly. Doesn't come out, but there are few cases like this which come out. Everybody lost hope in Ajit Kumar's case. They said the family has been bought over, and I refused to accept it. I said a human rights defender will fight till the end. We will fight. We will go to a postmortem. We will stay there for the postmortem. We were there protecting the judicial magistrate who was surrounded by police person. Imagine a judicial magistrate. Imagine some of you after 4 or 5 years, and earlier Professor Saravanan will say many of our students are also magistrates. Now unfortunately they have to wait for 3 years. Imagine those people who are finishing straight from college, sitting before a postmortem, and you're surrounded by 6-7 policemen. You will be scared. It was a fear in the marrow bones of the judicial magistrate that was going on there, excepting for our 2 advocates who are of support. Torture is part of our system. The next is the bias that exists in the system of policing against the poorest of the poor on the basis of caste, on the basis of sexual orientation, on the basis of the fact that they are persons of disability and various other minorities. This is a built-in bias that the police have for these sections. The fourth, is the justice delivery system. That's the hope for us. In this kind of justice delivery system should come forth. The first is the legal aid, and the legal aid is the worst. And I say it with frankness. I started my career, I worked under my senior, Mr. Dharmaraj Sandosham, a very, very famous criminal lawyer. And from that office, my passion was drawn from Mr. Raja of the then Legal Aid Society, old Mr. Raja, who's no more. I said legal aid should be the place where a person of my passion also spends time. And I was asked by the Legal Aid Society, you're coming from so-and-so office, why do you come to do legal aid? I said, I want to enter the prison. And the prison work was my best tenure in legal aid, and I made the best money while serving in legal aid. And Pratap Singh was my district judge. And when the bills went to Pratap Singh said, what? So much? He said, yes. He says he doesn't know how to do the billing. We have made the billing for him, because that was what I enjoyed through legal aid. But today, where is legal aid? Legal aid is supposed to have a remand council. It's all very nice. National Legal Services Authority's directions, which police takes their person into custody and produces before the remand council, legal aid remand council, before taking it to the judicial magistrate. Never. In some cases where they never touch the accused, கூட்டிட்டு போவாங்க. தொட்டாங்கன்னா கூட்டிட்டு போக மாட்டாங்க. அதுக்கு எப்ப கூட்டிட்டு போறாங்க? Everything is past midnight. All the remands are past midnight. I live next to the judicial quarters. All the remands are after 10 o'clock in the night. What do? What do you expect a judicial magistrate who is a lady to come up and search and find out where the injuries are? He is already in custody. So this is important, that we have a legal aid which is effective, and a legal aid which is not only pronouncing things on its websites and making sessions, welcome addresses and inaugural addresses and keynote addresses, which are very, very nice to hear. But in practice, legal aid is not an institution that we can rely. The judicial magistrate, less said the better. There are very good magistrates. There are very honest magistrates. And Tiruponnam was one such case. But not every magistrate is of that sort. But the one who is tortured, the one who comes from police, goes straight to the magistrate. And if the magistrate is not sensitive, we will lose lives, and we lost Jayaraj, we lost Benix, only because the judicial magistrate, Mr. Saravanan, remanded him. He should have sent him to Thuthukudi hospital, and he would have been saved. We lost them not because of anything else, because the judicial magistrate did not send him to hospital and instead send him to Koilpatti. The second is the medical fraternity. Less said the better. The medical fraternity is always hand in gloves. And if you want a good judicial justice delivery system, we need a good forensic department, and our accident ward people should be also extremely sensitive. I don't need to repeat it in front of Justice Basha, who has in many of his judgments cited many of those matters. Third is the police complaints authority. Where is the police complaint authority? There is supposed to be a police complaint authority. Where is the police complaint authority? The present government has a police complaint authority. I don't even want to talk about it, because it's so bad. But in Kerala, the police complaint authority at one point of time, our own Chief Justice, Justice Kurup, am I right? Was
I think it's Justice Bogan.
our Chief Justice.
No, he was acting Chief Justice, Mr. Kurup. He was not appointed as a complaints authority.
At least I was on a platform with
Today is some other judge.
No, not today. Those days. What I want to say is, police complaint authorities where they are,
That is very effective.
where they are functioning are extremely effective. But we don't have it here. Then you go to the National and State Human Rights Institution.
Yes.
Half a minute.
Yes, sir.
National and State Human Rights institutions have to be assured that they have resources, that their independence will be assured by the government which fosters them. I don't want to say anything more with the sitting chairperson and member here. They have to be assured their independence. They have to be assured their staff. They cannot be bullied into doing things which they do as an independent authority, because only then human rights can be protected. The National Human Rights Commission, I have Justice Murugesan here, and I want to applaud him. All of you would have heard about the 20 Tamils who were killed in the Seshachalam forest. On the 7th of April 2015. By the 28th of May 2015, your order was passed, supporting the cause of the 20 Tamils, assuring them compensation, assuring them land, assuring the witnesses protection, and ensuring a direction that you might have forgotten. The DGP and the Chief Secretary had to appear before yourselves. Friends, a stay order was obtained in the Andhra High Court, the then United Andhra High Court, and I leave it to your own imagination to find out who gave that stay order. And till today, the National Human Rights Commission cannot vacate its order till today. 10 years. That is the pathetic state of the National Human Rights Commission, which is downgraded today to B grade. And at international level, it's a downgraded National Human Rights Commission. Less said, the better. These are institutions that we need to be strengthened. And I always am hopeful that we can, as all together, and if such young people also join with us, this is our institution, we can ensure that that institution is brought back. The last is the CCTV cameras in police stations. A big hoax. But if CCTV cameras in police stations are working, then your mobile vehicles become mobile torture centers, as we have recently seen. I'm not going into it too much. And last is really witness protection. Where is witness protection? We have gone on pestering. I'm happy to tell you, yesterday evening at 4 p.m., all the witnesses in Ajit Kumar's case have got formal witness protection assured yesterday at 4 p.m. But you have to fight. So being a lawyer, friends, being a lawyer is not enough. There is a lot of things to be done on the ground. Much of it can be done by you while you are students of CLC here. And if you start when you are students of CLC here, your whole lawyering will be completely different. The way forward, ensure that the CRPC is followed and give voice to victims of police violence. Stand by them, hold their hand. The more we hold their hand, we will see that institutions will become powerful. And let us support such national and state human rights institutions, sometimes with our critical comments, but always with our heart in the center, because we are the functionaries who can strengthen the Protection of Human Rights Act. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. That is an activist reactivating the session again. So you covered it all. You said the causes, you said the problem, you turned on the reality mode, and you gave us a lot of hope in the system, sir. Thank you so much.